You can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth.
What do all men power want? More power.
My name is JeanLuc Azana. I was an Italian by birth, and I became an American by choice. Our lives and freedoms are in danger. This is not a drill. If you're listening to this broadcasting, you are the resistance.
All systems go.
Welcome to Love, Guns, and Freedom.
We're not afraid.
Here we go, guys and girls. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna on K-Talks 1340 AM and also 104.1 FM. Another Sunday, another show. You know, my show, normally, we talk also about happy stuff, don't get me wrong. I mean, you know, we try to detach some time from the reality just because we need to somehow resist and enjoy life to fight another day. So we talk about also other things. You know, the show is called Love, Guns, and Freedom. It is not just everything about struggling and fighting back. Sometimes, you know, I try to bring music. I try to bring you things like recipes and things that could be fun too. But reality is, what we are facing here is not a Disney movie. This is not like a happy day. We are facing a very, very challenging time. And I tell you, you just heard, last week, just before I was going on the show, there was this shooting in the synagogue in Florida. You know, there are crazy people from every side of the aisle. You know, violence, it doesn't belong just to a group. Of course, let's be realistic here. Statistically now, we see that the left, or whatever you want to call the left, you know, these liberal fascists, that's the way I like to call them, they have pretty much the monopoly of most of the majority of these attacks. I mean, Antifa, they are out there. They've been almost blessed by some governments, local governments. Look what happened in Portland, Oregon. Look how they can get away with everything they want. But the same way, you know, there is also some, even I believe it's a minority according to statistics, we have crazy people also on the other side. Now, though, there is always something, though. You know, I have an open mind. Don't get me wrong. I believe that bad people are out there, okay? But I also believe that there is a plan. I believe also there is technology that they can somehow control people with their emotions, with their thoughts. Where am I going to? I mean, think about it. We heard about what happened to the shooting. You already know enough, and I'll give you more details, of course. But the scary thing is when I start to read on mainstream news like yahoo.com, okay, I start to hear this information that there were voices and noises that they were telling to this alleged shooter what to do. So that's why I said, okay, I need to look into this. And I wanted to bring, of course, my friend Ken from Michigan. Let me bring him on, first of all. Hey, Ken, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Luca.
Okay, Ken, you heard, I'm sure, about this shooting at the synagogue in Florida. You are aware, right?
Yes.
Okay, you know, give me pretty much, people probably read already enough on mainstream news, a lot of information about it. But give us what you think that may happen according to your opinion. And as I said, this is your opinion, okay? This is not even mine or anything. But for me, that the reason why I wanted to bring you in, I don't even know exactly what you think. But one thing I wanted to bring you in for, I read on Yahoo News, I sent you the article, that there is this mention that this alleged shooter, he was mentioning noises in his head that they were telling him what to do. Did you read that article on Yahoo News?
Yes, I did, Luca. And Luca, I really believe when the people say they're hearing voices, because there's a patent for it and everything, the U.S. government, back in, I think, 1971 or something, they had a patent, they can do this. And I think they take these guys, the target individuals, and they make patsies out of them. They use them to do what they want, but in this case, Luke, I really don't think anybody even got killed there.
Wow.
I talked to a girl that...
You really?
I talked to a girl that took all the names. Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening. I say, wow, this is a kind of, very strong statement. And as I said, I don't know. I mean, I just now, the funny thing that we accept everything the news tell us. But there've been some cases, like other situation, that they were the news, or at least what the official version is proven to be a lie. So I don't know enough here, but I want to hear from you. As I said, the people now they're getting, mad or crazy or whatever. Let's have an open mind. Let's see how can somehow prove what he's saying. At least what the evidence do you have? I'll give you the floor, Ken. Why you think this should never happen? I want to hear what you have to think.
Well, because the reason I don't think it happened, I look at Sandy Hook, and then let me go a step further. The week before that, they had the bombs. Remember all the bombs?
Yes.
Then this came out, and all of a sudden we don't hear nothing else about this bomber, supposedly. And I think those are fake bombs also.
Oh, that's for sure. At least you can see that bombs, they were a joke. First of all, just looking at the photos, I mean, you tell me that somebody can just put in a regular envelope bunch of metal that looks like a bomb, and many times, and somehow, first of all, where do you get these addresses? All this information of these high-ranked politicians, they're kind of private. Nobody got hurt, by the way. I mean, these bombs, it was a complete loser, but there were so many things that's even heads up. Like, for example, there were not enough stamps, but still the package was able to go through, not even marked. Some of these packages we saw the photo, they were not even marked. And by the way, now you tell me that who took the photo of an alleged bomb, CNN, I don't know. There is so much that, but please go ahead, continue about these bombs. I think there is a connection.
Okay, then when they seen that really didn't work, because everything, you got to look at timing. And when that didn't work, we don't hear nothing about the bombs now. What is it, a week later? You think if that really happened, they'd be driving on that for 2 or 3 months. So then it's okay, then we'll send this patsy in and we'll say he killed a bunch of people. But yet when a friend of mine, she ran the names and went back to the county, that area, that city, and some of these people are on the list of being dead since 2000. Now, I didn't see that myself. She told me she looked them all up. And a lot of them were dead since 2000. She said plus, 2001, 2003. So that leads me to think just like Aaron Alexis and Myron May. But those shootings really happened.
Yeah.
They went to the Navy Yard and he shot up a bunch of people. Myron May went to Florida, the university. He shot up 3 people. Those really happened. I don't have any proof. I'm just telling you, I'm going by, because I've been in this program a long time, Luca. I don't really believe that anybody got shot up. I believe this is another psyop on the American people. Well, false flag, as they call it.
The false flag could have been also just having a real shooter that could be mind-controlled and really do the shooting. I mean, that's also a false flag too, because technically, I mean, we know for sure. I go by what I can see, okay, and I can prove.
Right.
I know for sure after, all these years that you somehow started me up, to bring this awareness about the technology that not just this government, but many governments have, about how to control the mind, how to also implant sounds and voices in your mind from a distance. That's a fact. There is a patent. This stuff, it's out there. There is also a lower level of technology available for civilians. You can buy for a couple $1,000 that type of instrument. So I know that for sure. That's a fact. I know for sure that the timing is very strange. We have a lot of things that are happening right now. There is this caravan of invasion of 10,000. We don't know how many invaders that try to break through our southern border. We know that Trump somehow is having a lot of things that to face. We know that the globalists are not happy. We know that the elections time is coming. We know that they want to complete this circle of gun control. And all they need is another match that's going to somehow start the fire, maybe under the new administration, maybe under the new Congress in a few days. So we know that these are facts. All I know that there is a technology that exactly can do what this man, the alleged shooter, because, still need to be sentenced, has said, and I repeat, Synagogue shooter listened to noise and noise told them his people were being slaughtered, says Jewish doctor who spoke to Robert Bowers. So the point is, if you read the article on Yahoo News, there is enough evidence that really brings it up that this man, he was having voices telling him what to do. Now, could be also a case this guy is crazy. Everything is possible. But I also believe when I see this type of timing, and with the situation now, it's almost, in my opinion, something we need to really have a lot of suspicions. I want to give you the floor.
Okay. Normally, Luca, when they just get in somebody's head and get them to do the shooting, like they did Aaron Alexis and Myron May, they kill them. They're finished. When they get through, they kill both those got killed. This guy didn't get killed, so it looks to me like they got him a patsy. Now they'll bring him into court. They'll bring him into court and try him, and they'll say they sent him to prison. But we really don't know whatever happened to him, and that's what I'm going by.
I agree.
I think if it had been a real shooting, I think they would have killed him. That way it cuts all the strings. Nobody can ever prove anything.
Well, the thing I was going to say, what about the police? I mean, allegedly there were also police that were shot and also injured. So there is a lot that, I like to see more into details. I wish I was, locally to find out, really the names of the people. But even as I said, even if the situation really happened, I tell you, I think there is enough ground to start to have a lot of suspicions here about this technology that I think more and more is being used every time they need this crisis. Listen, Ken, I have another situation going on that I need to put in for the next part of the show. I want to thank you, first of all, give you the floor to close whatever you want to bring up, even how people can contact you for what you're doing with the targeted individuals. Go ahead.
Okay, look, on the targeted individuals, people better understand, today it's a few million, but they plan on putting this technology on everybody and taking control of the whole population. Then they want to hook us up to AI, artificial intelligence. And when it gets to that point, we no longer have any say in our life. No matter what you think or believe, you believe what they want you to think.
That's true.
And it's very dangerous, so.
That's like the Matrix.
So
that's true. That's
right.
That's the final goal. You're right. A central control, artificial AI that somehow control every aspect of our life, and we're going to be used like bulbs. Listen, Ken, thank you very much. Keep me posted, and I would like to get a gentleman maybe next week that has this information that is kind of controversial, I understand, but I'm open to listen about everything. In case we can get a connection going, I'll talk to you next week, okay?
Okay, we'll do it, Luca. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. And there was Ken from Michigan. Now I would like just to say, be ready for second part of the show. This is Luca Zanna. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom on K-Talks 1340 AM. Ciao. Don't go away.
He's a songwriter, a poet, a rifleman. I'm not afraid. And a constitutional activist. I'm not afraid. Italian by birth. I'm not afraid. American by choice. JeanLuc Azana.
I'm not afraid.
And his new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom. 16 powerful songs on one CD from the heart of a patriot. For download or to order the CD, go to www.lovegunsfreedom.com. That's www.lovegunsfreedom.com. Lyrics for your mind, music for your heart. JeanLuc Azana's new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom.
Here we go, back into the studio. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. This is the second part of the show. We had guests last a few weeks, and of course even my friend Ken Rhodes today was another guest. I like to get in touch with, different minds, different points of view. I may agree most of the time. Sometimes I don't. Doesn't matter. I like to have you on the show when you have something to say. Now, regarding Ken, I truly believe that when it comes down to, first of all, target individuals, the technology out there to influence your thoughts, it's a reality. I mean, it's now on mainstream news. You can see even the latest, few months with the Cuba embassy, sonic or whatever that was, a type of, sonic wave, microwave attack. And the patents, the reality is out there. Do I know that everyone claiming who has, let's say, this sort of noises or voices in their minds is under mind control? No, that's not the case. There are people who really truly could be also mentally ill. But the reality is, we need to have an open mind. I truly believe this technology is used right now. We don't know on how many people, but we know that for sure, they have it and is being used, not just for military or government purposes among, nations or whatever. It is also used on civilians. And this has been tested, by the way. Even in the past, we have declassified documents. When we were talking about MKULTRA, that is a reality. It never really ended the program. It just got evolved. It got more and more, in a high-tech situation. So, we got government in general, not just the U.S. government, testing on civilians against their consent many times. There are declassified documents just on the U.S. government. What they've done. From vaccination, smallpox, and nuclear radioactive testing, seriously. It's criminal. Just because it's government, they can get away. But reality is, I truly believe what's happening right now is not over. And unfortunately, there is a dark side of government that has unlimited power, or at least it thinks to have unlimited power, and they will use it for different purposes. One of the purposes is to control. What is the final control purpose? What is the final goal for absolute power? To control your mind. If you control your mind, you are a complete slave. The reality is, these situations right now of shooting, they are all, in my opinion, happening at a very strange time. And as I said, there is more than what the media tell us. All I can say. But it's up to you. You make up your mind. Do I believe that the event didn't happen? No, honestly, I think it happened, in my opinion, according to the facts. But why I was there? No, I wasn't there. If somebody has evidence that was there and can tell us that didn't happen, listen, I give you the microphone. Just bring facts. That's all I'm saying, okay? But I know for sure that there is this technology that is out there. So I want to thank my friend Ken Rhodes from Michigan. And if you have any other experience of targeting individuals, I had people in the past that they're really credible people, that they have this, they brought me evidence, facts, patents, and everything. So come on the show, give me an email, send me an email, and I'll be happy to have you on. But please, don't start with things that could be really just for you. As I said, and every time you come on my show, I cannot have the chance to verify everything you're saying. So it's your opinion at the end, okay? All right, now let's talk about something else. Politics. This is the last weekend before the elections, and scary stuff coming out there. I'm telling you. There is a video of, let me see exactly here. There is a video of a group of black panthers, and they are not, by the way, animals in the sense of as animals. They are probably maybe animals because they behave as animals. In my opinion, they are not behaving as a law-abiding people. First of all, this is a group of black panthers going around. Was Atlanta, Georgia? Let's see, 1 second. Yeah. And they bring in rifles with them. That's fine. I like to bring my rifle too, but I do not brandish my rifle. I do not go around dressed like Rambo, holding my rifle in my hands. If normally my rifle could be on sling, on the back correctly, and I never brandish a rifle or a gun. And not only that, but they also were going out, on the street, try to, let's put it this way, influence, maybe with I believe, in sort of a almost coercive form of fear, because after all, you go around and you start to bring your candidate and you ask people if you voted for this person. In this case was Stacey Abrams. And you have a rifle, and more people like you dressed like Rambos, they have a rifle. That would be kind of scary in my opinion. I don't look at this as a peaceful act. Have a gun for self-defense is one thing. Have a gun to try to intimidate is another thing. And we know for sure that in the past there were also Black Panthers that they were found during the last elections in front of polls with weapons. You're supposed to have a distance, first of all. You're supposed not to intimidate people when they try to walk in, and try to vote. So this is very, very serious. And I said, I would not somehow let anybody there, I don't care if you're white, if you're black, when you start to use violence or intimidate people with the potential use of violence, we have a big problem. That's all I can say. But this is, unfortunately, the double standard of America right now. If that Black Panthers were a white, group, dressed like, militia or whatever, Rambo, holding a gun, and say, white power, we would have a real media frenzy and everywhere you can think in between. So that's the scary thing. I said this is very wrong. And that's the sad thing. The law is supposed to be applied to everybody. It should be no discrimination. Not because you're black you can have a free pass, okay? That's the story. Now, just to let you know exactly the true colors of what we are facing here, the Democrats in this case, not because I'm a fan of Republicans, don't get me wrong, Let me see. 1 second. Yes, somebody's trying really to call here. Let's see what's going on. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Let's see. A lot of phone messages. Somebody from the show here, you're calling. Let's see who's calling here. But my point is, here we go. Yeah, some of you guys maybe don't know I'm doing the show. But when you want to send me a message, please use Facebook, and if you have questions or anything you have, just send it to me there. I can answer to you. So right now, let's look at what's happening in Montana, okay? This is an article from Amoland. Democrats Kathleen Williams proposes a $200 million tax dollar on Montana gun owners. Think about it. Now, because you have a gun, or more important, you have magazines, especially what they call high-capacity magazine, that I just call fully functional magazines, they're going to try to find a way in Montana. If this candidate for Congress, Kathleen Williams, she will make it, she wants to find a way that she can tax Montana gun owners $200 million. Let's see how she can do that, okay? According to her, 1 million magazines in Montana and $200 tax for each one, by Williams, is where Williams will get a $200 million tax on Montana gun owners. Think about it. Okay, somebody's calling. Stay there. Don't go away. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom. Let's see who's calling. Stay there.
Are you ready to get lost in lust? Immerse yourself in a thunderstorm of emotions and passion. Order JeanLuc Azana's new book, Perfectly Crazy, 69 erotic visions and love poems with forbidden erotic Italian phrases. Perfectly Crazy by JeanLuc Azana. Available all over the world at Amazon.com and www.zana.us.
Here we go, guys and girls. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna on K-Talks 1340 AM and also 104.1 FM. We have a special guest right now. The phone was ringing before, and guess what? Ryan-Bundy. You remember him? I had him on my show before the whole event that happened, the big standoff or whatever you want to call it. I call it a complete, abuse of rights. It wasn't a standoff. We were just trying to stand for our rights. But regardless, just a week before all that mess happened, we were on the phone, tried to share awareness to the rest of the American people to come, or at least to be involved. That's it. Guess what? Many things happened since then. They've been in jail, they've been in prison, they've been, I believe, really vindicated. It's not about a belief, it's a fact. I mean, most of the people that they were involved with the Bundys, they were vindicated. That means they were found innocent. And more important now, the fight isn't over, but it's continuing. Ryan Bundy also is running for governor of the state of Nevada. And also is trying to bring back a little bit of accountability here against the federal government, what they've done. I mean, the resources they spent, and more important, the abuse of power that they use against this family and many other people, I really believe it's been something that hopefully they will be finding some justice in court. He's now suing them in the federal court. So let me just bring him on. Ryan Bundy, are you there?
I am, Luke. Thank you for having me on.
Very good, man. I don't know if you remember, you had so many interviews, but I remember about a week before all the official standoff happened down in the Special Magic place, I had you on the phone. You were trying to, call like everybody else out there to let people know what they were doing to you, the violence they were using against you, beside, of course, all the situation that they done to your father and your family. Give us a little bit, first of all, an update. Right now, what happened? What are the latest updates of the federal government against the Bundy family? Where we are? Where are you?
Well, all right. Well, first of all, I do remember our interview, but since then, yes, we stood up against the federal government's tyranny on trying to take our land and our resources and trying to destroy our rights. Y'all know we were successful in that on April 12, 2014. Later, 2 years after that, they did come after us and tried to incarcerate us for the rest of our lives. They charged us with several felony counts of crimes which they were not able to prove. We did spend about 2 years in incarceration while we went through the court process.
Wow.
But we were able to get through that, and like you said, we vindicated. We got out, and the case was dismissed with prejudice in our behalf on January 8th, 2018. And since then, I have decided to run for governor so that I might make the needed changes so this type of tyranny never happens again. Now, the government is still trying to come after us through, Jeff Sessions and the Department of Justice are trying to appeal the judge's decision to dismiss. And so they're actively engaged in that right now, trying to put us back in trial, put us back under incarceration.
That's pretty amazing, by the way. There have been cases lately, like the New Mexico compound, the Muslim family or whatever, that we have an evidence that they were using this compound to train children. They found a dead body of a child, and after all that evidence, they released them without bail. And you guys, that you didn't do any type of violent crime, even if there was even a crime at all, they coming after you and they're spending millions and millions of dollars. That is pretty much whatever they suppose allegedly you owe them, according to their situation with the grazing fee, all that things. It was like a fraction of what they spent so far. So this is like really a double standard that is now it's on the open, by the way. It's not even question is, President Trump, what's the change here? I mean, all the drama that happened to you guys was under President Obama. Okay, a globalist, New World Order puppet, we understand that. Now, I don't see any change. Attorney General Jeff Sessions is continuing pretty much the action of Obama. Do you see any change with President Trump about your case?
No, I do not, actually. I kind of wonder if it wouldn't have been worse under Hillary, but, President Trump came in and we got a new attorney general and the case just went on.
Wow.
And it's still going on. And so, no, I did not really see a change.
Yeah, this is very sad. By the way, what is sad also, regardless, of course, what happened to you is terrible. This is something that's hard to believe in America. But also what they were trying to do to everybody else, that also they were there to support you. Even on Facebook, I mean, even people like myself, I'm an independent media, to see and find out that my name during a court day was mentioned, I mean, what? Just because I'm there with a video camera, now I need to be put in prison myself? This is something that belongs to a tyrannical, really, government. Now, question, I heard about there was a death list or some sort of a list by the government that somehow a list of people that supposedly they could have been on the first line of a shoot. I mean, almost like they wanted to kill us. Are you aware of that? Do you have any proof of that, of this death list by the government?
Well, the most proof that I have is from that whistleblower Larry Wooten, who called out. Now, he was and worked for the BLM, and so he was directly involved. In fact, he was supposed to be an investigator on the BLM side, and he's the one that came out and said, yes, there was a kill list.
Wow. Any idea who was on this kill list?
I don't know all the names. I don't know. I know, of course, they had my father's name on there. They put Eric Parker's name on there.
Wow.
And I don't know who else was on the list, but there were more.
But this kill list supposedly was during the time of the standoff, or was created after the standoff? I mean, the famous day that we had all this energy somehow standing against each other. When was created? Before or after?
I understand that it was there during the standoff, which makes me question a little bit about having Eric Parker's name on there, because he didn't even become known until after. So there's a little bit of confusion on that.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I also know that during that standoff that they were targeting all of my brothers and Bundy family, that they were intending on shooting and killing us first as they killed others, that they certainly were aiming at us first.
But for sure, we have evidence that there were some elements of the law enforcement that they were making fun. I mean, of the idea of, who they're going to shoot first. I mean, you remember there was
but you got to be careful. You can't call them law enforcement. See, that's one of the problems we keep doing. These federal agents are not law enforcement.
No, I agree. Also,
law enforcement is the sheriff and his deputies. So
You're right.
Anyway, but yes, they were doing that. Those who were there, those BLM employees, were making fun of, some of the women. They were saying they were going to shoot the dogs. They were going to shoot, anyway. So, they were. Yeah. There was a lot of that going on. In other words, in the trial, they tried to make it sound like these guys were all scared, that they're all noble, that they're all good. And they were the ones that were using foul language and making fun of, and they were eager to shoot. In fact, they were disappointed that they didn't get to shoot at us before they were forced to leave.
And you're very true. I mean, the law enforcement is supposed to be only our local, peace officers. I don't even like to call them law enforcement. I would like to call our sheriff department as peace officers, to keep the peace and to defend our rights. But we very well know that now it is not more about keeping the peace and defending people's rights. This is about now enforcing laws, no matter what laws. That's what they're trying to do. And these federal agents, they are nothing close to law enforcement. They're just now, for me, trespasser in sovereign territory. They should not even be there. I mean, they should not have jurisdiction in our counties or in our local, parts of the states. But that's another story now. Tell me, what type of party are you running for? For what party?
I'm not running on any party. I'm completely nonpartisan.
Very good, very good. I'm very excited about that. Now, of course, I like to ask you something realistically. What type of, first of all, response did you find, especially when we all brainwash and program that we're supposed to have two parties, the Republicans and the Democrats. They pretty much work for the same goals, to enslave us. My goal is, did you have a chance to find enough support as a complete independent?
I believe so. I've got, everywhere I go, I find great support.
All right.
So I believe that I have plenty of support to win this race.
Regardless what happens, of course, I pray for you the best, but not just for you, for the rest of us, because that would be a miracle, in my humble opinion, if a regular man, like working man like you, can make it to such a position of responsibility, like a governor. That would be a great taking back our country and our state rights, more important. And that would be an earthquake to the heart of these tyrants, these globalists. But the same, regardless, whatever happens at this point, you're already doing great victory when you try to engage and educate the people in your meetings. And you've been meeting, I'm sure, a lot of people. What is the average person asking from you? What do they really want from the new governor of Nevada? What would like to have?
Well, they want the baloney to stop. They want to be able to count on, their government and their government to protect their rights. Nevada's education is in terrible condition. They want education to improve. But they basically want freedom. And they're tired of the lies and the manipulations of government. They're tired of them being prosecuted in courts on false premises and And so they just want to live and let live. They want to be left alone.
Yeah, no, I understand. It's really living under fear right now. I tell you, I never could imagine to just be there and witness and report about what happened to you, what was happening to you. We are all to fear for our lives. I mean, honestly, I'm just a regular guy. This is not about me, of course, but like everybody like me, just an independent media, I found out that my name was in court, and I know very well, the moment that they were able to succeed with you guys, all people like myself, they were there, they would have tried just to throw us in the cage, because at that point, what do I have to lose? Nothing. They don't have anything to lose. I mean, I'm shocked that they were able to keep you for 2 years or more in a prison, and you guys, many of you, most of you, had no precedent. This was no violent crime. I'm amazed that they were able to keep you for all that time in prison, and you guys had no convictions. You know, you were regular law-abiding people, and no bail. I mean, that's something that really it's hard to believe. And as I said, after they were successful with you, they would have come after many of us. So that's the point. Now, I'd like to talk about your experience in prison. I mean, this is hard to believe what you went through, guys. And I know some of your family, they were treated, very, very harsh. And some of you also, they had to go through very physical, I would like to call it torture. I mean, can you tell me something about your experience when you were in prison?
Well, it was certainly a violation of all our rights that our founding fathers secured for us. Our founding fathers wanted to make sure that this type of activity and tyranny never took place. That's why they gave us the Bill of Rights. And yet they violated every single one of our rights under the Bill of Rights. And they called us, they said in court, the prosecutor said that we were the most dangerous criminals that he had ever prosecuted in all his life.
Wow.
And yet, like you said, we had no prior convictions. We weren't guilty. There was no, we just stood up for our rights. Now, the problem is to them we were the most dangerous because we were a threat to their power structure and their authority, and because we challenged them, that made us the most dangerous.
Yes, and also...
And, they did spend millions of dollars.
Yeah, and you were trying to educate people about state rights, about, what really the federal government jurisdiction should be, and the basic constitution that we should all know. I mean, when people start to realize that the power that we have and the abuse of power that the federal government has been doing the last 100 years at least, I mean, that would be the most dangerous thing to a tyrant. When you start to spread this information.
That is, yes.
I believe that.
Right.
That's why I really believe that they think you were dangerous because they don't want the truth to come out. Okay? Now.
Yeah, we're not dangerous to people. We're not dangerous to society, but we're dangerous to their power and to their tyranny.
The idea of liberty is a dangerous thing to a tyrant, that's for sure. I know, I've been following you when you were in prison, you, your family. I mean, this was so harsh to see you guys, especially for your father, who's an elder man, a senior man, to go through that type of environment. Personally, when you were in prison, you were in a solitary confinement, or you were in a room with other inmates, and also how the inmates, in general, treated you guys. I mean, I never had that experience, and I hope I'm never going to have it. But I know that it's harsh. It's a harsh environment, and there are real bad people there. If this is not the place you want to end up, especially if you're not a professional criminal. So, how was your experience with you and your brothers and your dad there? How you were somehow received by the regular population in prison?
Well, the regular population in prison realized, that we were, heroes in this cause, and so they treated us pretty good. Now, the jails, of course, did not. The prison guards and stuff, there were a few that were better than others, but all in all, we were treated, poorly, simply because we were incarcerated as a poor enough treatment.
Yeah,
that we were not given the respect that we were innocent until proven guilty. We were treated as though we were as guilty as hell from day one. And so this is not the American way. At least it's not supposed to be, but it certainly becomes so.
Yeah, I believe that there should be two different type of prisons, while you're waiting for sentence and when you've been found guilty. Because till then you're supposed to be innocent. And they treat you, meanwhile, like you already been found guilty, and they mix you up with population that is technically they are guilty. And don't get me wrong. I know people that they've been guilty, but sometimes you're guilty just because you don't have enough money to have a real lawyer. Okay, that's the problem. The justice is not just about justice; it's about how much resources you have to defend yourself. And also what type of crime you're committing. If you are a white-collar crime, you may be okay. They give you a medal. But if you are like a political dissident like yourself, try to educate on freedom, oh gosh, you're gonna be treated like a terrorist for sure. Listen.
Well, and that's
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. So anyway, important thing you're all out. Important thing that you're safe. What happened now? What's happening now at the ranch with your dad? Do you still have animals? I mean, I know that they destroy many of your animals. They confiscated, they killed, they murder animals. I mean, that was devastating what they done. Are you still be able to perform your business as a rancher there?
Yes, we're still in business. They didn't end up getting any of our animals as far as taking them for good. We got them all back except for the ones they killed, and they did. They killed. We're not certain on the exact number, but around 38, 40 of them. So we still have several hundred head of cattle, and we're still in business.
And they never gave you the refund for the one they killed, right? You never got the money back.
Oh, no.
Of course
no,
not.
No.
Just being sarcastic. And they still want money from you guys. They still want the money for the grazing rights. Am I right? Grazing fees?
No.
No?
We've haven't, we're not communicating with them on that. And they've never given us a bill from the begin with, and
wow.
We have no contract with them. So.
Wow, interesting. So now pretty much all they want from you, it's your freedom, because technically you broke laws according to their books, and they still want to get you back in prison because you are a terrorist. You refuse to comply with their orders. That's the bottom line. Oh, wow. Now,
well, we refused to comply with their orders, but we never did break any laws.
Yes, no, I understand. I understand. Now,
their codes and regulations are not laws.
I agree completely. Unfortunately, sometimes the law is about the law itself, about who has the biggest gun. I mean, there are many laws that they are not laws and don't even exist, but under color of law and a color of fear, the intimidation, you believe it's a law. And if you don't go along, they will put you in jail, and then you'll sort it out if it's really a law, That's the reality. Listen, anything you want to share, like your website, or people can reach you or support you, regardless of the elections. Elections may be gone in a few days, but at the end of the day, the fight for freedom is endless. How can people reach you in case you want to maybe be contacted for speaking? And, sometimes you can go out and educate people, or even just inspire people. How can people reach you?
Well, first of all, I want people to be able to go to my website, which is governorbundy.com. Again, that is just governorbundy.com. And if they want to call me, I'm willing to accept a call at 435-701-1013.
All right, perfect. Anything you want to say that I didn't touch? Any special things that, as a message, you would like to close?
Yeah, the message that I want to put forth is that, hey, I am here. I am willing to serve the people. I'm willing to serve my Father in heaven, my God. And this is my offer. My candidacy is an offer to serve you and to serve in the best capability that I can with the education that I have and the experiences that I've been through to bring about greater freedom for America. So please accept my offer and give me your vote of confidence on November 6th and make me Nevada's governor so that I can help correct some of these problems that are going on.
All right, Ryan. Listen, I appreciate you, and my prayers for you and your family. And thank you for standing up, because I tell you, all of you guys that who took knock a deal and you stood up till the end, you really created like an earthquake in the heart of this tyranny. And now they know that even little people like us, regular people, we have the chance to stand up and to fight back. Thank you, Ryan, and keep me posted, okay?
Thank you, Lucas. Bye.
Thank you. All right. That was ryan-bundy, and I tell you, It's inspiration. As I said, regardless the elections, regardless he's going to make it as a governor or not, the fact that he's not defeated in his heart, in his mind, in his soul, and he's still there fighting. And you know what I like? He's fighting not for any political party. He's fighting as an individual for the people. And more important, no parties. This is about right now to show to the system that maybe we still have a chance to take back our government with no special lobbies, no political party affiliation. At least is trying. And more important, that could create an inspiration, as I said, to other people to try to resist in a peaceful way. You know, these people, they didn't do anything. They didn't go and start to put bombs or create any type of violence. All they were trying to say, hey, first of all, let's completely live and observe what we have here. The Constitution, we need to follow the Constitution. It's the supreme law of the land. If somebody did something wrong here, it's the federal government that is being completely ignoring our Constitution. And this didn't happen just the last 6 years or 10 years. It's been going on for so long. And now they think it's normal. And now the moment that you try to, let's say, apply the Constitution to what's supposed to be follow the Constitution, they look at you like you're crazy. So let's not forget, the Constitution is supposed to be, and it is, the supreme law of the land. Then all the other codes and regulations, they're supposed to be under the Constitution. And according to the Constitution, we're supposed to have state rights. We're supposed to have limited government. And also, the limited government, the rich, this BLM, they cannot just to start to confiscate and take over millions and millions of acres. We know very well what exactly is supposed to be the role of the federal government around the states. But now, the point is this one. We need to stand up. And now, as I said, let's do it. Let's do it in every way we can, even just running for your local office, for city council, for county supervisor. Even when you think you have no chance, try. Just try. And more important, educate yourself and educate your fellow Americans about what are our rights. Now, a little bit of break, and then we'll go a little bit about the hour of love, at least the segment of love, okay? Don't go away. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. In this world, where everything seems to be going sideways, when you need things set straight, Zanna Coffee Straight Shot Espresso. Start your day with a bang. The best organic and GMO-free coffee beans from around the world to amplify your senses and enhance love for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Zanna Coffee brings you happiness in every cup. Fair trade, certified, sustainable, organic coffee. That means we do not use slaves. Free Zanna songs with every coffee bag. Find Zanna Coffee at www.zannacoffee.com www.zannacoffee.com. Don't be cheap. You deserve the best. Get Zanna Coffee at www.zannacoffee.com. Okay, this is the final segment of today's show. I tell you, you know, what, sometimes I really realize, why am I here? I mean, what am I doing here? There is so many things I can do. There are so many things I can do, and my life is pretty, I don't want to call it chaotic because I'm still under control, but, you know, I have a lot of things. And the show, I'm not really here to, as I said many times, to be on the air. But sometimes I really realize that this is my duty. It's my duty because when I have the opportunity to have a microphone and to spread this type of information, even if I can reach 2 more people out there and try to educate them, or at least give them awareness. I'm not here to be a teacher, just to give you the opportunity to use your brain. Something that normally you will never be able to find in the regular mainstream control media, especially now through the internet. And of course, K-Talks has been great all these years. I tell you, I cannot stop. At least till I have energy, I will try my best. But I tell you, sometimes it's hard, you know, because, you know, this is not my business. You know, I do this as an act of love. Talking about love, this is my act of love. You know, I'm here and I dedicate some of my personal time to try to keep doing this. And I really believe that, you know, in the last few years, I have a lot of people that sometimes I realize later, say, wow, Luca, I was able to follow up, or at least to listen what you said. And at the beginning, maybe I thought you were crazy, and then I realized that what you were saying was real, or at least there was something I didn't know. And more important, now I am here to explain, to educate other people. That's all we can do. We need to spread information like the Bundys, regardless if you believe what they were doing is right or wrong. The fact that they were trying to just educate people about the role of the federal government, our basic, information that we're supposed to know when it comes down to our Constitution. If we don't know that we have rights, if we don't know our rights, we have no rights. And that's the most dangerous thing to a tyrant. So this is my act of love. It's my commitment to try to keep doing this. I've been doing this for more than 5 years now. I can't believe it. And I'm telling you, I'm not getting paid. It's not like I get a paycheck. I appreciate your help when you listen. If you want to support, it's fine, but I don't expect anything. Yeah, it's nice when I see people from around the world, especially purchasing some of my downloads, songs on Amazon. But don't get me wrong, this is not the reason why I do the show. I can market my music many other ways. But the same way I tell you, this is it. I believe it's our commitment to us, to our freedom, and more important, to our next generation. Sometimes I see people that they try to deny the evidence. I look at Europe. Every day there are devastating news about violence, crimes, and you realize, of course, also the lack of freedom that now the European community, the states in the European communities, they are living in. It's a tyrannical government. You cannot even exercise your basic freedom of speech. There was the woman, I think it was, I forgot, in Holland, I guess, I talked about last week, just because she said that Muhammad was a pedophile. And by the way, it is true. I mean, look at the Quran. He was very proud that he would marry a 9-year-old girl. Okay? Don't you call that a pedophile? A grown-up man marrying a 9-year-old girl? Yeah, it's a pedophile, period. Just because of that statement, it was even harsh. Just mentioning the facts. Guess what? I already told you. The Supreme Court of the Human Rights in Europe found her guilty. So she needs to pay a fine. If she doesn't pay a fine, she goes to jail. And more important, you realize now this invasion, this planned invasion, these open borders, how scary it is. But what is scary is not just what they've done or what they're doing. These politicians paid off as puppets of the New World Order. But what is scary is that some of these, most of these useful idiots, and I have some people that I know in Italy, they're friends too, at least I consider them friends. I've been knowing them since I was, in my early 20s, before I left Italy. And we get along on many things, we like music, we like good time together, all these things. But now you realize how different we grow up. I mean, some of my friends in Italy, they still believe that all things I'm talking about, it is just an exaggeration. And if you keep mentioning too many times the crimes of these illegals, of these, Muslims, many of them, most of them, and many of them anyway, they all come from third world countries anyway. Look at Italy. Oh, you must be some sort of a racist. This is insane. That's insane. But also realize that many of these people, that they are somehow ignoring the reality and try to be all this buonismo, like we say in Italy, this, being goody-goody, and, and completely be naive. They don't have children. I realize that. And that's sad, not because I'm judging you have children or not, but because I think it's almost a selfish way to deny the evidence, because when you deny the evidence, you deny the problem. You also realize that you don't have to do anything, because there is not a problem. The moment that you instead face the reality, you admit that there is a problem, guess what? You must do something. Especially when you have children. They have no power, they're depending on you. Our next generation is depending on us. And if we don't do something, one day they will look at us, hey, what have you done to try to stop all this destruction of what's supposed to be our basic human rights? Yes, if you look now at the life in Europe, it's the life of a hell. Don't take my words for it. Look at places like France, Sweden, Germany, Italy. Forget just about the economic conditions that have been a disaster, because when you live under a socialist form of government, that everything is controlled by the government, by the way, and the taxes, they are pretty much like eating everything out of your life, and also the regulations. I mean, look now in Europe. If you have, let's say, a farm, and you want to grow, olive oils, guess what? You must comply on many olive trees you can have, according to the European, center power. If you have too many olive trees, guess what? They will come there and burn them. It happened. Same story with the cattle. You have too many cattle, you producing too much milk, they will come there and kill it. This is true. This is the dream of a tyrannical central government. Now, beside that, they also add in this new invasion that's been all planned. Look at the Calergi plan. Now it's in plain action. Now you walk into the streets of Rome and you look like you live in some sort of a third world country. And still people that I know very well, they deny it. Oh, we need to look at the statistic, the data. My data, when you walk around now Rome, you cannot even speak anymore Italian. You look around like you are in Nigeria, in Africa. You have drugs in every corner of the street. You have prostitution. You have rapes in front of your face. There's been a girl was raped by 5 Muslims, Africans, just a few weeks ago, a couple of weeks ago. They've been raping her even when she was dead. Can you believe that? She was 16. And still people try to somehow ignore this reality. And they're doing this every day. They're raping every day, every type of individual, not just women, also animals. All right, time to go. God's willing, I'll talk to you next Sunday. You've been listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna, and I appreciate your support. Please go to www.zanna.us and download any of my songs or ebooks on Amazon. Thank you. Ciao.
Wake up.
Envision your decision. 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 Engage. Resist. Persist. Learn.